Most importantly, I brought my Bible.
Listening to Trump talk about the Bible is like Dairy Queen teaching algebra. It just doesn't add up.
And you think gas prices are high now? Just wait until you're forced to drive an electric vehicle.
Now a group called Evangelicals for Harris is releasing their second media spot using biblical text about false prophets and how Christians are supposed to, quote, test the spirits to see if they're from God. Simply put, they want evangelicals to ask themselves if Trump fits the characteristics of a false prophet. You think?
You mentioned the Bible. You've been talking about how it's your favorite book. And you said, I think last night in Iowa, some people are surprised that you say that. I'm wondering what one or two of your most favored Bible verses are and why.
I wouldn't want to get into it because to me that's very personal. You know, when I talk about the Bible, it's very personal. So I don't want to get into verses. I don't want to get into...
There's no verse that means a lot to you that you think about or cite?
The Bible means a lot to me, but I don't want to get into specifics.
Even to cite a verse that you like?
No, I don't want to do that.
You're an Old Testament guy or a New Testament guy?
Probably equal. I think it's just an incredible... The whole Bible is an incredible... I joke very much so. They always hold up the Art of the Deal. I say my second favorite book of all time.
The Christian Broadcasting Network has some bad news for tiny fingers. They note if Kamala Harris gets 20% or more of the white, born-again evangelical vote, which is not out of the question, Trump will lose. Here's their synopsis. In 2008, Obama received 26% of the white, born-again evangelical vote, and he won. In 2016, Hillary only got 16%. She lost. But in 2020, Joe Biden received 24% of the white, born-again evangelical vote, and he won.
But this election is now over. Congress has certified the results. I don't want to say the election's over. I just want to say...
So a lot of these people, well, they're waking up.
Christ, the stories of the Holy Bible, and the voices of famed evangelical...
Now you're probably thinking, how did any evangelical ever support this guy, right? And that's a good question. When Billy Graham's son said this...
And I don't think he came to be president by mistake or by happenstance. I think somehow God put him in this position because he's not a politician. He seemed to do everything wrong as a politician. He offended many people, did the wrong things, but somehow he became president. And I just have to think that God, in some reason, put him there for a purpose. I don't know what that is.
You have to ask yourself, dude, you knew about this, right?
I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab him by the pussy.
And this?
An invitation into Donald Trump's world. Footage from 1992 found in the NBC archives shows the future president welcoming Jeffrey Epstein to his Mar-a-Lago estate. The get-together more than a decade before Epstein pleaded guilty to prostitution charges in Florida. Both men are seen enjoying themselves, Trump pointing out women dancing in front of them. An apparently friendly encounter with a man the president is now looking to distance himself from.
And of course, you knew about this.
Where I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay?
And then there was this.
They're bringing crime. They're rapists.
And of course, this.
I have absolutely no idea who this woman is.
Why did you body shame him? Why did you do that? And that's not something I would normally do. You know what I mean? I only did it because he called me a liar. Hey, Mr. Trump, all you have to do to prove I'm lying right now, drop your pants.
This, of course, is the problem with religion and politics, and the reason Madison wrote the First Amendment. Evangelicals wanted to stop abortion, so they made a deal with Trump. Appoint pro-life judges, and we'll turn our heads while you do anything. Practical, but Christian, not so much.
Done well, but I would have been boom, boom, boom. I'll beat that.
I don't know if I'll do the fighting myself or if other people will.
Maybe you should have been roughed up.
Knock the crap out of them, would you? In the good old days, this doesn't happen because they used to treat them very, very rough. And when they protested once, you know, they would not do it again so easily.
Back in the day, Jerry Falwell said AIDS was God's punishment for homosexuals and said they deserved to die. And today, well, not a whole lot has changed. A big chunk of the Christian right is dangerous.
If a man also lie with mankind as he lieth with the woman, both of them have committed an abomination. They shall surely be put to death.
But to be fair, millions of people who call themselves religious think Trump is insane.
I will do my part to protect AM radio in our cars. You know, we like to listen to AM radio.
And after 8 years of acquiescing Trump's sick wishes, there might be a push to abandon these Trumpian promises and now lean back and wonder if they made a mistake. Now, while many in Trump's pack of incels say the right thing,
some will say now that I am calling America a Christian nation, and so I am. And some will say that I am advocating Christian nationalism, and so I do.
The only time MAGA even mentions the New Testament is when Trump uses it as a prop.
Have you ever asked God for forgiveness?
That's a tough question. I don't think in terms of, I'm a religious person. Which is a great book.
But have you ever asked God for forgiveness?
I'm not sure I have.
The Republicans' idea of a Christian nation was taken over by MAGA, and the result, not so Christian.
I'm hearing reports that Pence caved. I'm telling you, if Pence caved, we're going to drag through the streets.
Tucker Carlson was on the other night. He said, in his opinion, there's no such thing as hate speech in America. How do you stand on that?
I believe in hate speech. When you have hate for somebody, I am 100% into hate speech, because it's freedom of speech. You can speak.
So if you hate someone, you should be able to just say it.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of religions here who have a right to feel uncomfortable.
They are evildoers. They are people that worship false gods. They are people that practice magic or rituals or whatever. Anything, those people need to be, when we take power, they need to be given the death penalty.
Donald J. Trump is calling for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims.
Not to mention people like me who claim no religion. And that's why there's a group called Evangelicals for Harris. The only real question is, why did it take so long?
If you don't like our religion, then we don't want you in our country.
Back in 2016, many people opposed Trump, but instead of standing on principle, they offered up their asses to be plowed by this reptilian skin tag. And now they wonder how they can stand up to Trump without fear of reprisals.
I know a lot of Republicans want retribution. They want to do that. We're going to see what happens.
It's a terrible path that they're leading us to, and it's very possible that it's going to happen to them.
Revenge does take time, I will say that.
It does.
And sometimes revenge can be justified.
But the good news is this. There are some brave members who actually will stay true to their values and beliefs and support Kamala Harris, even if she's not their first choice. But she is transparent. She's a black American, married to a Jew, helping raise his kids from his first marriage. Granted, it ain't Leave It to Beaver, but does anyone really want to live in that black and white world anymore?
Well, whenever we cook inside, Mom always does the cooking. But whenever we cook outside, you always do it. How come?
Well, it's sort of traditional, I guess. They say a woman's place is in the home, and I suppose as long as she's in the home, she might as well be in the kitchen.
The new evangelicals are coming, even if man-titties and his slack-jawed hillbilly aren't.
How do you solve a problem like a MAGA? How do you turn them round and calm them down? How can one be absurd to think like MAGA?
Many of us were amazed and disturbed at the evangelical embrace of this maggot-filled bucket of spunk. But it kind of makes sense. Not all religions, ironically, practice the values they preach on Sundays. And that's backed up by all of human history. From the Crusades to the Catholic Church, who threatened to burn Galileo at the stake for simply turning his telescope to the stars, to the witches in Massachusetts, to the Jews during World War II. Religion has been at the center of almost every war and social injustice. But this evangelical turnaround might just be one of those moments where a religion decides to adhere to common sense and apply that to whatever values and principles they hold. And that common sense is this. Trump isn't a prophet, but he's definitely false. And for any religion that chooses to ignore the time-honored values of Judeo-Christian beliefs and instead practice hate and bigotry, well, might I do a little prophesizing myself? The tables will turn, and we won't forget.
I'm ready. Let's go.
Damn right.
Trust me.
Shut the f*** up, Don.
Who's with me?
Oh, yeah, the lie.
Indictable.
Out of sheer morbid curiosity, I'm allowing this freak show to continue.
This isn't their Republican Party anymore.
I don't want to talk about this stuff.
Am I wrong?
Damn right.
Tick-tock.
You're in a lot of trouble, Donnie.
I think he's crazy.
I'm Chip Franklin.